All right, we live? This thing's acting crazy today. So, welcome. It is Tuesday, June 11th. And as we do every day, we want to zoom out to the monthly chart and maintain a little perspective here. Now, if we take a peek at the monthly, we get, a balance and a looking to break out, right? And so we're having a developing +4 bar here. And that is really kind of telling of the momentum in the market, right? Definitely remains to the upside still. And so, what would change this from being a +4 to just a normal bar would be a trade below the previous open, which is, um, or the previous close, excuse me, which is right there at 95. So, that's one big thing we want to be paying attention to. I know we're a little ways away from there, but it's still, we've seen days that are 70 points and we've got the FOMC tomorrow. So it's just a big key to pay attention to. Not necessarily saying that it's going to be important today, but in the future it may be. Switching over to the weekly, this is another thing that we want to talk about here. And this is kind of where the title of the video starts, is when balance tells a story. And the when balance can really kind of tell us something. So we've got these equal highs and similar lows. We have this kind of 3-week balance over here as we moved up, got a transition, got the move down. And then we had this other balance here, right? And so now we've got balance on top of balance, right? Overlapping. So here's the midpoint of that balance, kind of taking that. So um you really got to be paying attention to this, because a lot of times when balance is overlapping, it means that the move may be getting a little bit overdone. And so what happens is, a lot of people, they got in at the top, they got stopped out, they missed this move up, and now they're doing the same thing again, right? Looking to catch that breakout. And they might catch it, but it's just something that we want to be paying attention to, is that there's overlapping balance here, and that can sometimes indicate that a market is, or a move is, getting a little bit old. And you can see it here on the daily. As we switch to the daily, we're, we had this larger 10-day balance, and now we're kind of sitting here in a 3-day balance, and these are overlapping balances. So, just something to pay attention to. The nice thing about this is we basically have our balance high and we have our balance low, and we'll see it a little bit easier on the profiles, but it really kind of gives us some cleaner insight, or a cleaner transition move from certain levels to be more confident. But let's go ahead and switch to the profiles here. Now, on the profiles, the transition level I'm talking about is this balance high level, right? So that's the previous balance high, the one that I just made those squares with on the daily chart. So that's this level here. And so there is decent odds, I think, that this area most likely will be chop. And that's, for me, below yesterday's open, um, basically down to this balance. The prior balance is point of control. Right, this is most likely chop and can kind of break either way. And it's a big area. I know 46 to 34, gigantic area, but um, not really a great place to take a trade, I don't think. I think you could probably be a little bit safer or stay out of there, unless might be some opportunity that sets up down near the 33. You might be able to, if the market starts to chop tight like this and hold, then you would be looking for that cautionary long kind of back up into yesterday's range, or back up towards yesterday's open. Um, for strength today, you really want to see this thing get accepted above yesterday's point of control. You kind of see all these point of controls lined up here for the most part. So that's kind of the area that I'd be looking for. I'd looking for it to kind of claim this level, hold the settle, and then you look for that continuation back towards this 53.80 level. Inside this lower range, I think you're really just looking for these cautionary longs, right? Any move that moves lower that doesn't fill single prints during the cash session, I think is probably a long. So we can say any, let's say, fail to fill singles in cash session is a buy. Well, let's say a better way, right? Because we don't want to be trying to force. So let's say fail to fill singles in cash session. Buyers remain in control. And then really below this, if these singles down here fill, we kind of get accepted into this lower distribution. We're back towards that 28, right? And so that's kind of the last chance long there. A move down to this 28 that doesn't fill becomes kind of your last chance long until below that it starts to get a little bit slippery. So then we'd want to be looking for the downside from there. I'm not really expecting much today. We do have the FOMC tomorrow, so the market may just relax, but you never know, right? A lot of times they like to take care of business 1 or 2 days before the FOMC, so we didn't see any large traders yesterday, and the market was very mechanical. We'll see what happens today. We could get a big nothing, or we could get some bigger players showing up, and they've got to take care of business before tomorrow afternoon. It is summertime, so we're probably not expecting much either. And then one more thing here that we want to take a look at is this COT chart. Chart detach. So this is the COT chart, and we'll get one more profile to add to this top profile today. And you can see this point of control here from the upper is sitting at 64. So that tells us that above 64, the market is probably fairly strong, right? Especially if it can hold that 64. And then we have that 28 level, right? That's that kind of no-go level. And then the target to the downside would be that 95, which is prior month's close, right? So full circle. But yeah, other than that, you guys have a wonderful day. Make sure you're managing risk and sticking to your trade plan, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.